Welcome to A Course in Miracles Workbook for Students, Lesson 291. Right before Lesson 291, there is a section called, What is the Real World? So I'm going to read that and then we'll dive into the lesson. The real world is a symbol, like the rest of what perception offers, yet it stands for what is opposite to what you made. Your world is seen through eyes of fear and brings the witnesses of terror to your mind. The real world cannot be perceived except through eyes forgiveness blesses. So they see a world where terror is impossible and witnesses to fear cannot be found. The real world holds a counterpart for each unhappy thought reflected in your world. A sure correction for the sights of fear and sounds of battle which your world contains. The real world shows a world seen differently, through quiet eyes and with a mind at peace. Nothing but rest is there. There are no cries of pain and sorrow heard, for nothing there remains outside forgiveness, and the sights are gentle. Only happy sights and sounds can reach the mind that has forgiven itself. That's such a powerful concept. I'm going to read that sentence again. Only happy sights and sounds can reach the mind that has forgiven itself. What need has such a mind for thoughts of death, attack, and murder? What can it perceive surrounding it but safety, love, and joy? What is there it would choose to be condemned, and what is there that it would judge against? The world it sees arises from a mind at peace within itself. No danger lurks in anything it sees, for it is kind, and only kindness does it look upon. The real world is the symbol that the dream of sin and guilt is over, and God's Son no longer sleeps. His waking eyes perceive the sure reflection of his Father's love, the certain promise that he is redeemed. The real world signifies the end of time, for its perception makes time purposeless. The Holy Spirit has no need of time when it has served his purpose. Now he waits but that one instant more for God to take his final step. And time has disappeared, taking perception with it as it goes, and leaving but the truth to be itself. That instant is our goal, for it contains the memory of God. And as we look upon a world forgiven, it is he who calls to us and comes to take us home, reminding us of our identity, which our forgiveness has restored to us. Lesson 291. This is a day of stillness and of peace. Christ's vision looks through me today. His sight shows me all things forgiven and at peace and offers the same vision to the world. I'll pause here and say, clearly there are people who are enmeshed and embroiled in a nightmare. And in that nightmare, they are being harmed and they are harming others. So to the ego, this is nonsense. How could this be a day of stillness and of peace? Because this nightmare is going on over here, that nightmare is going on over there. But we're being asked to understand in Workbook for Students that even though we can create a horrible reality within a nightmare out there, that is a projection. And we don't need to run out there and fix, force, control everyone out there. The work is in here. It's in coming home. To be still and know. I used to think, well, if some people are in a nightmare, I got to jump in the nightmare with them and I need to fix the nightmare. What I really needed to do was come in here and choose to let go of the nightmare. And in doing this, I was being a light in the dark and a beacon of hope because I had ended the war in here. I was letting go of the hatred in here. And I cannot, nor would I, control another sovereign soul or try to force or fix them. I'm not responsible for the mote in my brother's eye. I'm responsible for the beam in my own. And I accept this vision in its name, both for myself and for all the world as well. What loveliness we look upon today, what holiness we see surrounding us. And it is given us to recognize it is a holiness in which we share. It is the holiness of God himself. I'll pause here and say, our true identity is love. It is compassion, truth, joy. It's letting go of perception and receiving true knowledge, true wisdom. This day my mind is quiet to receive the thoughts you offer me, and I accept what comes from you instead of from myself. I do not know the way to you, but you are wholly certain. Father, guide your Son along the quiet path that leads to you. Let my forgiveness be complete, and let the memory of you return to me. What a beautiful prayer. Father, guide your Son along the quiet path that leads to you. Let my forgiveness be complete, and let the memory of you return to me. Because you see, the ego would keep us jumping through hoops and running around in circles and trying to fix and change and control, so that we'll never do what will really work, which is go within. And release the grievances that we are holding here. Release the prisoners that we are holding within. And purge our minds of fears and doubts and recriminations and condemnation and justifications for attack. I can't remove that from out there. I can't even begin to remove that out there if I haven't removed it here first. And as we do that inner work, that doesn't even have to be work. We call it work, but it's simply remembering and rehearting our true, authentic self. I am as God created me. As we do that, we will effortlessly start to heal and repair what's going on out there. Because what's going on out there is merely a projection of what is going on in here. Today is a day of stillness and of peace. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow for lesson 292.